for your family's financial. How to what? Establish, manage, and maintain the framework of your family's financial future. This is important because we just told you our threshold right now, we're managing $30 million, and that does not include our outside the market investment opportunities. So if we're going to do this together, then we've got to stay focused on what we're doing. Our primary source of income, and I need everybody to focus on that, is your stocks. It is the only investment you're making right now, with the exception of the Philadelphia project and probably North Carolina wellness centers, that's going to grow, compound, and pay. If you learn nothing else tonight, I want my money to grow, compound, and pay. Because even after your death, your family's money should grow, compound, and pay. Let me give you a few families that's growing, compounding, and paying. The Hilton family. And the guy, what do they call him? The patriarch that started that is dead. He's been dead for a while. But his family is still eating from his grow, compound, and pay. The Rockefellers, grow, compound, pay. So it ain't the world that got it right. It's us that's not following the roadmap. The world don't even speak about generational wealth like we do. They speak about riches, they speak about wealth, they speak about every other thing. But here's God is giving you a roadmap. Proverbs 4:7. Above all things, here's what it says. I'm going to give you the latter part. Though it costs you all you have, get an understanding. So the first part we need to understand, wait a minute, my primary income is my portfolio. So if I've got a portfolio through investment group partners, that means that I can add to my portfolio 3 times in a quarter. 3 times in a quarter. I got a portfolio. It's growing, it's compounding, it's paying. When was the last time, and this is a rhetorical question, ask yourself, when was the last time I added to my portfolio? And you only have to add the minimum or the maximum or somewhere in between. Listen, it's not even mandatory because this is a community investment club. The goal is to teach you how to what? My job, let me give you my job first. My job as CEO is to teach you how to establish, I'm going to write that down, manage and maintain. And maintain what? The framework of your family's financial future. So right now we're building a framework. You already got the foundation. The foundation is built. You got a husband, you got a wife. God said y'all are already good stewards. He said, I'm not going to send you any babies. There's been a couple of babies that creeped in, but y'all aren't babies. You're already good stewards. Whether you were a good steward with your 401k, whether you was a good steward at saving your money, whether you were a good steward at buying a home instead of renting a home, whether you were a good steward at paying. Somebody better mute your phones. It is imperative that we know who you are. Y'all are all good stewards. My job is to help build the framework on top of the foundation. So my main source of income is my portfolio. I can add to my portfolio 3 times in a quarter. What can I add? Anywhere between the minimum of each portfolio to the maximum of each portfolio. So watch this. How do I find out what that is? We have a website. Somebody please post our website. Post it right now. And I want everybody to get that website and save it in your favorites on your desktop, on your phone, make it an icon. If you don't know how, call the grandkids. If you don't know how, call your daughter, call your son, call your mom and your aunt, call somebody to help you save this. Because when you want to look up something, you got to look up the portfolio. So you got some work to do with me. This just can't be me. In order for you to be a good steward, you got to learn. So when we go to the website, we want to click on portfolios. Now, Martha Ray, you always sitting in front of me. And also Tracy always sitting in front of me. So y'all gonna be my examples for the night. They're probably 2 of the youngest women on this phone call right now. Hallelujah! So what we're going to do, we have 16 neighborhood group portfolios. 16. Write that down because I'm going to have a test tonight. And I went purposely to the bank to get some money. And I'm going to give away money tonight for everybody that's going to get this stuff right. So I'm going to need you, Kia. I'm going to need you, Reggie, you, Kimberly, to help me keep the score. So we got 16 neighborhood managed group portfolios. Out of the 16, 10 are available. These portfolios can either be a 3C1 or a 3C7. So you guys need to know that. Because what's happening is, and it's the same way when we're giving out ministry, and we're trying to tell somebody about Jesus, but all we know is that he's Mary's little baby. All we know is he was born through immaculate conception. But we don't know enough to convince that person, guess what? This is real. So we kind of sound crazy. Oh, y'all don't think you ever sound crazy? Let me tell you why you sound crazy. Because you getting an MMRP. Now we got to use you too, Kia, as an example. We're going to use Kia. Kia getting an MMRP, and she knows she getting it. She been getting it for a year. But she going to try to tell Charles Parker about it. And she tell Charlie, man, I invested 10 grand. This company gave me 10 grand. I've been in there for a whole year, and now I'm getting money every month, and I ain't even getting taxed on that money. And Charlie gonna say, well, how you do that? I don't know. They say, oh, that's a mess. Boy, I wouldn't get into that. You know why? Because Kia don't properly understand what she's talking about. She knows she getting it. And it's the same way we do with Christ. We know we blessed. Girl, I had cancer, and now I don't have it no more. What happened to it? What the doctors say? They don't even know. It's a miracle. Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you about the goodness. When we talk about something, please know what you're talking about. My job today is to get you an understanding. My job today is to get you understanding. We got 16 neighborhood managed group portfolios. Every portfolio can either be a 3C1 or 3C7. Now watch this. The 3C1 means it can only have 100 benefacting members. Here's my first question, and I probably say I should have been on my screen. I'll be wanting to see the answer. All right, here's my first answer. All the ones that are closed would be a 3C7 or a 3C1.
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 Oh, no, a lady said
it could be either. It could be either, right?
No, can't be.
No, 100 members, Dr. Harrell.
Gotta be a 3C1.
You're
Okay,
absolutely right. So listen to me. A
3C1 with 100 members.
That's correct. A 3C1, if you've been with us longer than a year, you know that all of our portfolios at one time was a 3C1. A 3C1 just means that we have less restrictions based on the 1940 SEC Act. We do not have to do anything that anybody else has to do as long as we maintain 100 benefacting members. So when that particular portfolio, that neighborhood portfolio reaches 100 members, it's closed. It has a waiting list. Let me give you some that are closed. Environmental Socially Responsible Fund. Or we call it, you can use our, we like acronyms, ESRF. Now, what's so special about this portfolio? Because I'm thinking about making it a 3C7. Watch what it is. It's an all dividend payable per quarter portfolio. It is, listen, and what does that mean, Harold? Well, if you were on the calls, if you read the websites, all dividend is exactly what it says. All dividend payable per quarter portfolio. This is the only portfolio where everybody inside of this club gets to split the dividends on top of whatever that particular portfolio averages for the month or for the quarter. So people that are inside ESRF, so let's say right now, in fact, let me look. Do I have it open? Yes, I have it open. Y'all better say hallelujah. I have Robinhood open. I keep the closed portfolios on Robinhood. So I'm going to give you an example. So the environmental, socially, oh, let me just change my dark screen. I don't like the dark screen. We're talking about, we're at the website right now. We're talking about the 6 portfolios, excuse me. Yeah, the 6 portfolios that are closed. And the reason they're closed, they're 3C1s. They are 3C1s. That's the reason they're closed. That means they have already 100 members. 100 members. Now, a 3C7 is just like a 3C1 with 2 exceptions. One, you don't have to have a limit on the membership. You can have up to, they give you a number, but then you can get an exception. I think the number is like 3,000 people, but you don't have to have limits on the amount of money you match, as long as the, and I'm thinking off the top of my head because I was going to read on the website, as long as the risk factor is not as high. The higher the risk factor, the lower that the initial member contribution has to be. Whether it's a 3C1 or 3C7, the higher the risk, the lower your initial contribution has to be. Let me give you an example. We have a portfolio called the penny stock member portfolio. It is closed because it has what? Let me see here. Don't nobody say nothing. Don't nobody say nothing. David Ferguson. The penny stock member portfolio is closed. Why is it closed, David?
Because it has only 100 members.
All right, David, we're gonna write your name down. You're gonna compete in my contest at the end of the I'm gonna pick my contestant. He's right. So watch this. The minimum, am I pronouncing that right? The minimum to get into the penny stock member portfolio is $10. It is $10. Watch this. Hey, Frank.
Yes.
Here's the minimum for the penny stock member portfolio, only $10.
$10.
Why is it only $10?
It was set, it was a 3C1. That was a set minimum until you got $100.
That's a good answer, but that's not the right answer.
Because it's penny stock.
High risk.
No. Don't shout out the things, guys. Don't shout them out. I'm gonna come to you now because there's too many people on this line right now. Frank Carter gonna play the game later on today too. So let me go. Deborah Taylor. Deborah, I see you looking down. You hear me, Deborah? Deborah Taylor. Why is the penny stock member portfolio minimum only $10?
High risk.
Who said that? That is true. Deborah, you're going to be playing later on, so you might as well get ready. I'm writing your name down right now. That's Deborah Taylor. She didn't even take her phone off of mute. The higher the risk, watch this, guys. We have guidelines we have to follow. The higher the risk, the lower the minimum. So the highest thing you could actually invest in would be a penny stock.
How could I be aggressive?
No. Stop for a second, guys. Listen, we're going to come to you. There's too many of us on the line to try to talk together. So if you got a question, do me a favor. Put the question in. Type the question in. And I promise I'm going to get to them. All right. So let me backtrack. Because some of the questions I'm going to go over at the end, towards the end, going to be some of the same things I'm going over. All right. So we have 16 neighborhood managed group portfolios. 10 of them are open right now. An open portfolio automatically means what, Tyrone Asia? You on mute, Tyrone.
That you're allowed to get into it.
Okay, but what do you get from an open portfolio?
You got me on that one, Dr. Elam.
Don't nobody say anything. You're on my contest list too, Tyrone, just so you know.
All right.
Hey, let me get some of these ladies out here. Melanie, how are you, Melanie? You on mute, Melanie.
I'm good. It's my first day, so I might not even get any of these questions.
But listen to me. We have 10 portfolios that are open. Every open portfolio offers a what?
Every open allows members to join.
Okay, right. That's the thing Tyrone said, but you're going to be on my contest, Melanie.
Okay.
All right. So don't forget to mute y'all phones. I'm going to find a couple of ladies. Y'all hold on one second. Oh, let me go to the top. Let me go to my young ladies up there. Where they go? Hey, Martha Ray, how are you, Martha? Unmute your phone, Martha. So, Martha, there are 10 open portfolios. Every open portfolio offers any member that they get in a what?
Can't mute. Oh, there. Say that over, please.
Okay, we have 10 open portfolios. These 10 open portfolios offer any member that gets in a what?
Got me?
Okay, Sharnice, you got Martha. You're going to be on my contest list. Sharnice, you had your hand up. What does it offer? Pastor Perryman?
I know.
You on me?
Dollar for dollar, match for match.
Dollar for dollar match.
Okay, I know that, but who said that? You wasn't supposed to shout it out. So, guys, listen to me. This is why it's imperative we know. So I'm going to backtrack again. We have 16 neighborhood managed group portfolios. 10 of those portfolios are open. The 6 that are closed are 3C1s. A 3C1 can only have 100 benefacting members. Can I get in a closed portfolio? Yes. Only if somebody that's in that portfolio decides to give up their seat. Mute your phones. If they give up their seat, they're cashing out, closing, and dissolving their position in that portfolio. Then the next person in line, first come, first serve, can get in that seat. This is why the ones that are closed, I'm going to give them to you, are Environmental Socially Responsible Fund, all dividend portfolio, Diversified Portfolio Group Investments, Emerging Markets, all foreign companies, Tax Savings Family Fund, things that do community like building bonds, penny stock member portfolio, the highest risk portfolio we manage, and Minority Urban Mix Fund. That invests in minority-owned businesses, Black, brown, women, whatever minorities are, it invests in those businesses that are publicly traded. The reason why we focus on our portfolios is because they do what, Miss Tracy? What do portfolios do? They're our primary source of income. What do they do? I said it earlier, guys. Let me give you a hint, Miss Tracy.
They grow, compound, and pay.
Income.
They grow, compound, and pay.
You cannot shout it out. I ain't gonna pay y'all. Who did that?
That was Dr. Sharnice. I'm sorry.
You're right, Dr. Sharnice. You on my game list. We're gonna have a game tonight, and I got some money I want to throw on good ground. I went purposely to the bank too. So Pastor Sharnice was right. Pastor Perryman was right. They grow, compound, and pay. So now in the book of Ecclesiastes, you got your Bible there, Miss Tracy?
Yep.
All right, I want you to go to Ecclesiastes 11, 1 and 2. What version of the Bible you have? Is it the NIV or you got the King James Version?
The NIV.
Okay,
Ecclesiastes.
good.
Ecclesiastes what?
11, 1 and 2.
Okay.
Read it for me.
Okay. 1, ship your grain across the sea. After many days, you may receive a return. Invest in 7 ventures. Yes, in 8. You do not know what disaster may come upon the land.
Okay, I wanted to stop right there. Here's God giving you one roadmap. Now, if you guys notice, the first 3 scriptures I gave you were by Solomon. Solomon was the richest man ever and the wisest man ever. He's given us a roadmap from God on how to obtain stuff. Here's God telling you, ship your grain across the sea. After many days, you might receive a return. That's the risk factor. And then he tells us invest in 7 or 8 different ventures because you don't know. That's the diversity. You don't know what things are going to happen. And if you're not if you're invested in 1 portfolio, you're not diversified. 2 portfolios, somewhat. 3 portfolios, you're doing great. You're doing great because now you're diversified. Our focus, and God said, I may have made that mistake. Our focus is so far gone on our outside the market investment opportunities, you're not thinking about your primary income. I want you to think on this for a second. You got a job, and then you get a second job. Your second job is driving Uber. Now you're not making as much money with Uber, but you start spending all this time with Uber, and you start slacking on your second job. You sleepy. They see you sleep at work. You yarning. You hungry all the time. Eventually, your boss gonna say, "What's wrong with you?" And he's gonna eventually, or she eventually gonna say, "You might need to either take a time off, or I'm gonna have to lay you off," because you're no longer focused on your primary income. You need to have 7 or 8 streams. Stream mean they keep coming. So here's my suggestion. If you're in one portfolio, that's one stream of income. If you're in 2 portfolios, that's 2 streams of income. So new people, I want y'all to hear me. Here's what I do. If you're going to get into the community investment club and you want to invest $1,000, I like that $1,000, IGP is going to award you with $1,000. That means now you have $2,000 going into the quarter that you started. During the course of that quarter, you're going to earn money based on the portfolios we put you in. Now, so what I normally do, if somebody gets in, listen to me, new people, send me, if you send in $1,000, if you send in $25, if you send in, well, we don't have $10. The least amount you can get in right now is $25. You're going to get a dollar for dollar match. But when you send in the email, here's what I want you to say. I want you to match and maximize. Don't try to do my job. Match and maximize. And allow me the opportunity, because I want to show off. I want to show you what God can do. I want to make you some money. So at the end of the quarter, you can say, hallelujah. At the end of the quarter, you can say, hey, this thing is working for me. At the end of the quarter, you can say, what can I do next? I was talking with a lady today, and I ain't going to call her name, but I'm going to use her numbers. She said, listen, Kia, she logged on to InvestNext. She said, I'm looking at my portfolio. I said, okay. I said, are you looking at a paper statement? She said, well, it was in my email. After we went through the long run out, she really did. She clicked on in her email and it took her to the online. She's seen her portfolio value because I had one number from the paper statement. She had the real number. And she said it was $2,107. I said, good for you. And then she started saying, I only started with $500. So she's seen her growth. She wanted to do a CCT. Now, don't get me wrong. I cannot give you advice. I am not a financial advisor. I'm a fiduciary. So I give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. I told her, now for me, before I do a CCT, I want to make sure I got substantial amount to do it with. A substantial amount that makes sense. Now somebody better write this down. This is going to be one of the questions I'm going to pay big on. When you do a CCT, you cashing out, you're closing, and you're transferring money from an old portfolio to a new portfolio, and you get a dollar for dollar match. But that money does not mature for 180 days. So you remember that. So what I did is I started talking to her. And she said, well, I want a CCT so I can get a whole lot of money. I said, well, that ain't going to be a whole lot of money because you're only going to double $2,000. You're going to only have $4,000. So I began to look through her portfolio with her, Kia. And I said, well, what else are you invested in? She said, well, I'm in that C-dip. I said, well, hallelujah. I said, that's some money. So I said, well, how much did you put in C-dip? She said, $1,000. I said, well, what's your rate of return? She said, you sent me. I said, you sure I sent it? She said, yeah, it came from CEO. She said, you sent me an email that said 583%. I said, okay, let's see what you got. And we did 583%. I said, so when your money matures from your C-dip, you're going to have $5,830. You know what she told me? Watch, she's listening. Here's what she told me, Miss Tracy. She said, well, that's more than what it would be if I did a CCT. I said, that's correct. And I did my little math for her. Miss Martha, I told her, because your portfolio, if you did nothing else, I said, since you started, did you add any money to your portfolio? She said, no. I said, so your portfolio compound and grew on its own. She said, well, what do I do with that C-dip money when it matures? I gave her a suggestion. I said, well, what you could do is you can take your $5,830 because when a C-dip matures, it's cash. I want y'all to write that down. That's going to be one of my questions. When a C-dip matures, it's cash. I said, you can take that money and I can show you how, through a tax loophole, how to make that money $10,000. She did a hallelujah back at me. So she said, so when it matures, and it matures for her next quarter, she's going to take her $5,830. She's going to use a tax loophole called TFAA, and she's going to take her $5,830, stick it into her portfolio. Now I'm going to give you an acronym, and I want y'all guys to write. I know I'm giving you a lot, but this is basic stuff for us. This is supposed to be basic stuff. MPA. MPA. Let me see. Glenda, unmute your phone.
You would ask me something I don't know.
Yes,
MPA,
what
member.
does it stand for?
A member.
Come on. Come on, Glenda.
Lord, you would ask me something I don't know, Dr. Errol. I know that a member participant.
Member portfolio account.
Yeah, member portfolio.
Somebody gave you the answer.
Yeah, help me.
All right, so hear me out. Y'all can mute your phones. Glenda was getting there. She's one of my prize students. So MPA, whenever you hear me mention, whenever you hear Kia mention, whenever you hear Reggie mention, whenever you hear somebody mention MPA, they're talking about your membership portfolio account. That is your membership portfolio account. So she's going to take her $5,830 matured funds from CDIP. She's going to utilize a TFAA tax loophole, put it into her MPA. When she drops it in her MPA, she's going to get double for her trouble. Her $5,830 becomes $11,660. Now, before we had a conversation, she was going to CCT 2,100 and was going to have to wait 180 days for her 2,000 to become 4,000. But in less than 60 days, she's going to have access to $5,830 in a C-dip. Remember, C-dip is one and done. One and done. It don't compound. It don't grow. It don't pay. But if you want to put a influx of cash into your MPA, then a C-dip can work for you. But not everybody can afford to do a proper C-dip. So this is when, don't look at your primary source of income to take away from something that's growing organically. Listen, there's an old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. When you're doing your investments, the best thing you can do every month, see how much disposable income you have. I don't care if it's $25. Before you go spend it on something that you ain't going to get back no money on, put it back in your portfolio. But in order to put it back in your portfolio, you got to go to the website. Because then you got to find out what the minimum is for your portfolio. And you should learn it. You don't got to learn all of them. You only got to learn the ones that you have. You only got to learn the ones that you have. All right. C-dip. So let me see if I can find somebody up in here that's got a little stuff up in here. Let's see here. Sheldon McDowell. Are you woke, Sheldon? I see a light, but I don't see you. Sheldon, are you there? You're gonna unmute your phone. There goes Sheldon. What you doing? Working? Oh, well, you keep working, Sheldon. I'll ask somebody else.
Oh no, go ahead. I got you. I work for myself, so hey,
Okay,
we good.
please don't nobody answer this question. Sheldon, what
Yes,
does
sir.
CDIP stand for?
Crypto, direct investment.
Oh, we're gonna give him a hand clap. He got it halfway right. So CDIP stands for cryptocurrency direct investing project.
Yeah, I missed the currency. Yes, sir. That's right.
Yes, sir. So CDIP stands for cryptocurrency direct investing project. So
Yeah.
guys, listen to me. CDIP is an important part of our future. And I want to explain to you, it's a reserve. Now, I want to be a blessing to everybody, but I also don't want you to miss out on a blessing. So here's your immediate blessing. If you help us buy currencies, we're buying 3 tokens. That's it. We're buying, y'all better write this down with one of my test questions. We're buying XRP because the company is Ripple. Don't remember XRP, you better remember the company. We're buying XLM. The company is Stellar. We're buying BTC, which is Bitcoin. We're buying these tokens because we're building a reserve. This reserve that we are building, we're going to use it for future projects, future loans. We're going to leverage the amount of supply we have. That means the actual number. We're going to leverage the supply we have on a projected price in the future. But in order to do this, we needed help. We don't have that kind of liquidity. So when you decide to participate in cryptocurrency direct investing project, you're loaning us money. So I'm buying coins on borrowed dollars. And since Frank decided to do CDIP and Tyrone decided to do CDIP, I'm going to give them a predetermined percentage rate of return. That predetermined percentage rate of return is based on what IGP pays for the tokens. Now, here comes the test question. The higher we pay for the tokens, the lower your rate of return. The higher we pay for the tokens, the lower your rate of return. The lower we pay for the tokens, the higher your rate of return. Your rate of return. Oh, somebody asked me to mention the coins again. Connie, somebody gave me out. Thanks, Kia. The lowest that you're going to get is 524%. The highest you can receive is 624%. It's exactly 100 points difference on purpose. Now, here's the buying strategy. Part of our strategy is to buy the dip. You may hear me say it. It's to buy the dip. So we're going to, Frank, can I use you as an example? Okay. So Frank is all excited. Frank said, Harold, I'm gonna put $10,000 in this CDIP. I said, okay, Frank. Frank sends his money today. Today is April the 24th. My middle boy's birthday is my son's birthday. I got his age wrong. He's 28, not 27. So Frank decides to put his 10K in, right? I ain't buying the dip today. I may not buy the dip tomorrow. I may take 15 days before I see a strategy point to buy that dip because I'm looking to buy equity into the tokens. If we own the tokens for $1.75, why would I start buying at $2.25? I'm gonna unbalance myself. So for anybody, so don't call me no more because I'm gonna hang up on you. Anybody that does CDIP has to realize, I want y'all to write this down. It can take up to 15 days before we spend your money. 15 days. Anybody that knows crypto knows it trades 24 hours, 7 days a week. And most of the time when the coin dips, you sleeping. I couldn't tell you why. I don't know why. Maybe because because it's trading in China. Right now, the Chinese market is open. for trading. It's daylight over there. They're trading stocks and everything. So they're probably trading crypto. I'm going to my crypto screen real quick because I want to look at it. I couldn't tell you all the stuff about it. I do know the 3 coins we're buying, XRP, XLM, and Bitcoin. And the reason why we're giving such a good rate of return, our goal is to have 1 million tokens. Well, guess what? We've already reached half of our goal. We're at 500,000 tokens. So that's a good thing. Hallelujah! We're already at half the goal. So the good news is we don't sell the tokens. We don't trade the tokens. We don't option the tokens. We're keeping them. If you decide, I'm going into XRP right now. If you decide that you want to take your price protection at the end of the 90 days, now hear me out. You do not have to get out at the end of 90 days. You can literally stay in if you want. But when you stay in, you have price protection. Let me give you an example. Frank gave us $10,000. His rate of return was 524%. Frank has price protection for $52,400. Now, the uneducated, I ain't gonna say that. The ones that want their right now money would say, well, I want my 52.4. So when Frank says, well, Harold, give me my blessing right now, he has to sign a release form stating, I no longer want ownership of the tokens or future value of the tokens. So whatever his money bought, he no longer owns the tokens. They belong now to IGP. We're going to give him the cash. If Frank gets out of CDIP, he cannot get back in. It's a reserve. Ain't no second in. This ain't your stock market. This don't compound, this don't grow, and this don't pay. It's called a one and done. We're strategically buying these tokens so that we can have a reserve for the future. What would a reserve do for us as a community? It'll make us like our own bank. Right now, we met the threshold for Robinhood, and we met the threshold for crypto.com. They said they would underwrite our supply based on a projected value. Their projected value, I wrote it down today because I was on the phone with bankers all day. Their projected value was $11. I got the math. Hold on a second. And we're going to go over the math tonight. Was $11.16. That's their projected value. And they said that value changes every 18 months. So I don't know their math, but I'm going to tell you my math. So right now, they're willing to do, if I got my calculator right, times 11.16. Is that right? They're willing to do $5,530,000 in underwriting. I think my numbers are right. $11.16 times 500,000 tokens. Yep, $5,580,000. That's the underwriting based on a projected cost. Now, the one thing that I'm challenged with is moving the tokens. Because if we did that with Robinhood, they're going to want us to move our tokens to their platform. That's another time for another story. But their math, every 18 months, they believe they're going to see another jump every 18 months. I don't believe their math. My math is every 5 months. I want y'all to now I'm going to give you some education. This won't be on your test. Every 5 months, this coin will jump 550%. From November of last year to April 22nd, which was 2 days ago, this coin seen a 550% increase. It went from 40 cents to $2.27. In the last 3 days, because of the momentum, on the 20th, it was at 208. On the 21st, it was at 221. On the 22nd, it was at 220. On the 23rd, it was at 227. Right now, the token's at $2.20. It is in its momentum stage Because the first trimester, when you hear me talk about trimester, and anybody that had a baby know they usually have 3 trimesters. The first trimester is gone. We're about
I think it's close.